All right, here we go. What's up, people? Hotep Jesus, we back. Unfortunately, on a bit of somber news, a little bit of a low note. We're going to try and take this thing to a high note. I am Hotep Jesus, your wonderful host for the evening. This stream is currently happening on Twitter Spaces as well. So for people that would like to join the conversation, quote unquote, call in, you can participate there. My green screen's doing some janky thing. We'll get that fixed. Act like you don't see that over here. My channel is currently sponsored. This stream is currently sponsored by Syscoin. Syscoin is basically a dream come true for developers. It has the best of both Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you'd like to support that project, I believe they just hit KuCoin. So if you'd like to invest in this project, you can do that. Well, KuCoin, I think they just got listed on several other exchanges. But that is Syscoin. Make sure you guys go check that out. Shout out to the Syscoin people for making this content possible. Let's dive into the conversation. Kevin Samuels. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I understand. Okay. All right. So Twitter Spaces, if you would like to come to the stage, go ahead and hit whatever button it is you're supposed to hit to come up on stage. My YouTube listeners, we are on Twitter Spaces. If you'd like to join the conversation and talk and come in, then you can do so on Twitter Spaces. We got 10 open slots currently, according to this thing. Somebody just said, crazy how this is getting little to no coverage. It's an interesting statement. Just wondering why we expected the death of Kevin Samuels to get more coverage. Not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just wondering why you would say, I don't know. Anyway, I think the to sum up how I felt about Kevin Samuels and his passing, and the reaction to his passing, the reaction to his life, the reaction to his death, comes down to, I think, if I were to summarize what Kevin Samuels was, I think he was a protector of free speech. Some people would describe him as manosphere, whatever, and he was that. He was in the manosphere. He did deal with relationships. He was an image consultant. He was very particular. Samuels, you know what I mean? So I was giving my 2 cents on his life and really what it meant. And I think I'm back online now. The internet. How do I feel about Kevy Kev? I mean, yes. This is definitely. What up, YouTube? I'm back. Yes, this is definitely surprising. Nobody, this was not on my 2022 bingo card. Do you think this is some Illuminati? Illuminati?
Of course, I know who it's for. Of course I do. It's weird. It's fucking weird. It's shit and random. It might be for Joe though.
Oh wow. So you do think this is a potential Illuminati hit on the god Kevin
That's
Samuels?
The first thing I thought about, because it's very random. I don't know if the numbers add up. I haven't done my diligence, but I think this shit is very weird.
Absolutely. I would have to agree. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't know. I feel like hold on, I'm gonna mute you real fast while I go on my diatribe.
Okay.
Free speech, right? Like when we think about free speech, and I've said this in the past, right? Like people look to government to not infringe on their free speech, and that's all well, fine and dandy, and I would agree with that. But we have to be mindful of the free speech we allow amongst each other, because that is actually more potent, more powerful. Peer pressure, right? We learned about peer pressure from the Dare commercials. Don't do drugs. This is your brain on drugs. We all know what peer pressure does. It gets people to do drugs and not do drugs. And peer pressure is one of the biggest influences amongst human history. And that suppression of thought, that's suppression of speech. I just thought that the people who are on the fringes, right? So on one side, you might have like the KKK, some white nationalists, white supremacists, whatever you got, right? And you got on the other side of the fringe, you know, you might have some radical Ukrainians, right? Whatever it is. But you got different people that are on the fringe of things, okay? The fringe of society with their opinions, thoughts, or whatever. And I always thought that those people on the outside who are afraid, who aren't afraid to speak how they feel, are some of the biggest protectors of free speech. And it is a test of free speech. It is a test of the society and how they respond to speech that they don't like. And that in itself tests how much they care about free speech. That is the test to see how much you care about free speech. You allow this person to go and spout these things. And then, for example, when we look at the case with Janice Rogers Brown was a great judge, right? And the left or the progressives lambasted her, attacked her. She was up, as we know, Biden, Feinstein, Obama, Clinton, they all voted her down. And this is to become, I think, a district judge, not Supreme Court, but she potentially could have been in SCOTUS one day. This is a black woman, a black judge. And the case that she weighed in on basically said that the employer said, and I can pull the exact case up in just a moment, but basically the employer used some racial epithets towards one of their employees, and the government stepped in and said, hey, this is wrong, discrimination, blah, 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 hoopla, 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 right? And Janice Rogers Brown was like, no, the government, this is none of the government's business. If he wants to call these people racial names, then he has every right to. He runs a business. The government can't infringe on this, right? So I believe this is Aguilar versus Avis Rental Car Systems. Let me just make sure. It says, through the use of racial slurs directed at Latino employees. On appeal, this California Supreme Court upheld the lower court's remedy that prohibited the use of racial slurs in the future. So basically, you know, the government is saying, you know, when a racial slur can and cannot be used. And Brown dissented, arguing that the First Amendment protects the use of racial slurs in the workplace, right? So where am I going with all this? What does this have to do with Kevin Samuels? I see Wasted Talent. I'm about to bring Wasted Talent up on the stage in just a moment. And Rev, I see you. I'm going to bring you up here in just a moment as well. But, yeah, like, so what does this have to do with Kevin Samuels? Well, Kevin Samuels was saying everything that people thought but wouldn't say. I know damn for sure, if I would have been on live with a black woman, white woman, whatever type of woman, as long as it was a real woman, if it's a real woman on the other line and I'm interfacing with her, I don't have it in me to be like, yo, you don't deserve the man you want because you're fat. I could never do that. I also can't judge him for saying, yo, you're too fat to get that man that you want. Go hit the gym. Or you, dude, you're too broke to get the woman you want. Go get some money, right? Now, I can say that to another dude all day, every day. Yo, you broke. You shouldn't be focused on women. You know, the woman you want, you can't get. I can do that to guys all day, dealing with money. But to tell another person you're fat and you can't get to somebody because you're fat, I couldn't do it. And he's done that. So I think for a lot of people, he's been a voice for the unspoken, right? A voice, that's exactly it, a voice for the unspoken, right? Saying what people are thinking, and that's what I am, right? This is why I can relate to Kevin Samuels, because that's what I am. Except I don't do it about individual people so much. It's more or less about life and society. You come on this channel, Hotep, so we all know this is like a safe haven, and it's open speech here. And we're going to say things that people don't like. It just is what it is. So we're all in that same boat. And this is sort of what creates the enigmatic aura around our brands. Kevin Samuels, Hotep Jesus, Uncle Hotep, Canon Hotep, whatever. We're saying the things that people don't want to say. And they love us for it because they're too scared to say it. And we're going to do a presentation on fear in the future because I think it's very important for us to understand that the things we fear actually are nothing to fear at all. They're figments of our imagination. All right, say less. So yeah, right. So, that's what I saw Kevin as. I'm gonna bring Wasted Talent up on the stage now, but that's what I saw Kevin as. I saw him as a protector of free speech. Wasted Talent, you on the stage? What's up, bro? How you, man?
I'm terrific, man. How are you?
Life is busy as hell, but I'm happy to be alive, and I'm very happy.
Same, my brother. Same. I feel about Kevin Samuels passing. I feel it's very unexpected. It's terrible. I don't necessarily know about the Illuminati thing. I don't think a guy like him was important enough for him to be some kind of like sacrifice.
Yeah.
But the one thing about Kevin Samuels though that was important to society and our society at large is that he was a mirror that people needed. It wasn't like Kevin Samuels just gave his opinion unsolicited.
Right.
People would come on his show and they would have certain expectations and they would ask him how they felt like they rated or how they could. We all know the premise of his show.
Yeah.
The thing about Kevin Samuels that was great is that he was saying the things that everybody else was thinking. See, he was that little dose of reality that some people that don't know social cues needed. You can't have a chick be on there and have, be 35 years old and have, been divorced 3 times and have all these kids or they're broke and then you want a guy that's in the NBA.
Right.
Like your expectations have to be congruent with who you are.
Right.
It's a certain league. Like they say, you got to play your league, right?
Yeah.
These are people who don't realize that they had to play their league. And I never could understand why people used to get so upset about the things he was saying because it wasn't like it was not true. It wasn't like these people didn't come on this man's show and ask him his opinion. It's not like he just went in the street and just started yelling at them and say, hey, you're fat. You can't get the man you win. These people asked him his opinion and he told them. And I'm going to tell you something. You've known me for a long time. To me, he was like my prim and proper spirit animal because people do that shit to me all the time. And if you ask me, I'm going to tell you. That has always been how it was. So, I'm sad to see the brother go, and I don't want to see this whole hero worship of Kevin Samuels now because there was a lot of people who didn't even listen to his shit. Now all of a sudden they're rest in peace, like they do every time somebody dies.
Yeah.
But I just think he was a very, very important voice out here in these streets because a lot of these young men and women need that.
Absolutely. I resonate what you said, mirror. I was on with Jason Whitlock. You'll see that come out I think Monday. And we talked about Kevin Samuels. And that's what I said. I said he was holding up a mirror in front of people. And that's super important to put that mirror up in front of people and say, hey, look, this is how you look. This is how you sound. You sound crazy. Stop it. Right. Also prim and proper. Right. Like he was able to do things and get away with some of these things because he wore a $5,000 3-piece suit.
Yes, sir. Listen, man, if you want to get away with anything, buy yourself a tailored $5,000 suit.
Facts.
You can get about pretty much anything in life if you have one of them on.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about somebody who's going into, hypothetically robbing a bank, right? If a guy walks in with a hoodie on, he's number one suspect. The guy with the business suit, nobody's even paying him no mind. He looks like he's supposed to be there. That's the guy that could probably get away with robbing the place, So I think, him being an image consultant, I had the opportunity. I hung out with him. I met the guy down at Fresh and Fit podcast. And I'll be honest, Kevin Samuels wasn't my cup of tea. Does that mean that I didn't like him or I wished ill harm on him or I'm hating on him? No, I wanted get your money, get your success, right? He wasn't my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean he wasn't important. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't need, hold on, I'm gonna mute you real fast. I didn't need Kevin Samuels, right? But y'all did, and not every individual I'm pointing to, but other people did. Other people needed Kevin Samuels. The world needed a Kevin Samuels. America needed, the black community needed a Kevin Samuels. I didn't need it. I'm a little bit older, so his advice is just, it's not going to help me that much, right? Because me and him been through the same experiences. We're just older than most of these young Thundercats out here. But that's what it came down to. It came down.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels, father, that would tell you about yourself.
Right.
But he just had a $5,000 suit on.
Right. Francisco Ventura, he said, what happened to yesterday's show? I was trying to finish it today. It was a good show. It'll be back up. We got to edit that up, and it should be, I'm waiting for YouTube to process it. We had somebody said his content is most valuable to those of us still dating and trying to marry. Exactly. It's not for my demographic, right? It's like, if I put out a piece of content about crypto and people just aren't into crypto, well, that content's not for them. They might say, hey, Hotep Jesus isn't my cup of tea. I'm looking for somebody that is talking about microbiology. So they'll glue into Tanai, right? And that's who they get their content from. But Kevin Samuels was restoring the feeling. That's what I love most, especially like that older generation, where they just tell it like it is, but they tell it from a very traditional standpoint. Like, woman, you need to stay home, cook and clean. What do you bring to the table? Like, making women be accountable. Like, you're not allowed to do that in progressive society now, right? But what do you do? What do you bring to the table? Are you in shape? You're fat. Like, the black community, period. And I'm glad you brought that up before, what you said. He said that things were not solicited. Well, I saw somebody say Kevin Samuels' advice wasn't solicited, and like Wasted Talent said, women was calling in and asking for this consistently. So they asked for it. So you can't say, it wasn't solicited. Rev, I'm gonna let you up, man. How the hell I do this? There we go. All right, Rev, you should be on the stage in just a moment. Rev, what's up, man? Talk to the people.
Hey, Hotep.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Life is good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
How do you feel about the life and death of Kevin Samuels?
First of all, Kevin Samuels was the GOAT.
Okay.
Fresh and Fit. That's when you guys were on Fresh and Fit. That was awesome conversation. And it was nice to, you guys are on different octaves, which is cool to see. It's different, and obviously different audiences as well.
Right.
But just like Wasted Talent said, like these girls were calling in, they were asking him for advice, and he did a stream a little while back where it was all the people that he helped were basically calling in on Zoom and telling them, like, it was like dozens of people got married because of him. He was doing some matchmaking as well. And like, regardless of how you feel about, the political side of it, with, gender politics and that sort of thing, or the fact that, he was a little abrasive with his with his comments.
Right.
He helped people, at the end of the day, he helped people. And that was, like you said, he's not helping people like you because you've already got, wife, kids, he got it figured out. But for people that are, 30s, 40s, they're trying to figure their life out, or they're still single and they want to get married and they want to have kids. Well, he was the guy, And I think in this day and age, you're not allowed to tell a woman that, your expectations are too high. That's considered bad, that's considered evil, and you're a bigot and you're misogynistic and you're all these types of words. And especially in the black community as well, because you just don't have people like that. He's an anomaly,
Right.
And so we definitely needed people like that. And, I thought some of his stuff was hilarious, and, just all the jokes and everything. But no, definitely people like him are needed, just like yourself as well.
Thank you.
Have like awesome leaders that are holding people accountable and just calling people out, because it is like, you know, it's mental illness, it's madness that people are living their life in this state of ignorance, whether it's for relationships or, you know, starting a business, whatever. Like,
yeah.
People are living in delusion, and we need people like yourself, like what I'm doing and like what Kevin Samuels is doing, to just say, hey, no, you can't keep living in this delusion. You have to actually look at reality for a second here and say, you know, what is it that I'm actually worth? Are my you know, values aligned with what I'm portraying them to be? Are my expectations aligned with who I'm embodying, you know? And so you definitely will be missed. And like I said, you know, changed lots of people's lives, regardless of how you feel. And I think it's disgusting, the whole movement on Twitter of people dancing on his grave. I think that's just sick, regardless of, you know, like, even if it's an evil person, it doesn't matter. They're dead. Like, you know, that's that. You don't, nothing else needs to be said. If you didn't like them, that's all. You know, you don't have to be like the people that were cheering and stuff. I was like, I just thought that was despicable, honestly.
Yeah, of all graves to step on and dance on, you know, there's much bigger villains out here. Kevin Samuels, I didn't find to be that big of a villain. You know what? I think it I'm gonna go ahead and mute you while I say this, but you know what it comes down to is triggers. Everyone's got a trigger, okay? And if we've ever heard that statement, you know, if it don't apply, let it fly. Well, if it hits, then it sticks, right? If it hits, then it sticks. So if it hits, or Uncle Hotep would say, a hit dog gonna holler, right? That's what Uncle Hotep gonna say, a hit dog. So basically what happens is the people that are upset at his rhetoric have been triggered basically at the level of their insecurities. Their insecurities have been triggered. And now, as an egoic defense mechanism, they must attack that which has exposed their insecurities, right? So that's why you see them attacking, because they are the single mothers who made poor sexual decisions. They are the single mothers who made poor relationship decisions. They are the single mothers who made poor life decisions that are upset at him. Poor health decisions, poor money decisions. They are mad at him because he's exposing their insecurities. He's actually, when you look at the inflation of people attacking him, he's actually exposing and revealing the demographic that is, right? So if you can just take a look, and this is why I like when some of these things happen, because it makes the yeast rise to the top. Because what happens is, take a look at your timeline. You get to see who stands where when a lot of these things explode. So you see, oh, this is what this person said about it. And it gives you insight into everyone's character. So you take a look at the channels, the social media characters, the followers, everybody, and take a look at the content they created when someone died. And that'll tell you, okay, is this someone I should support? Is this one living on the right side of God? Jabari Judah, thank you. He said he helped a lot of black women. Some even, they gave their testimony on him helping them lose weight and get married. But as we've seen from the Moloch midterms, anybody that is pro-life and pro-accountability is a threat. That's exactly it. You know, the thing is, when it comes to advice, man, people have to be ready for it, right? So a lot of times I no longer give unsolicited advice, right? But if somebody asks me, I'll help them, right? The thing is, unsolicited advice usually gets ignored and tossed overboard, right? But when people are ready to make a change in their life and they come to you and they say, hey, I want to make this change in my life, they're usually more receptive than you going to them and saying, yo, you need to make a change in your life. It's much different. So the women that are attesting are women that came to Kevin Samuels, knew he had some insight and said, yo, I actually want to change my life. And that's the key to changing your life, is first accepting the flaws and the mud that which you live in, the calamity that your life is right now. You have to say, yes, this is happening. And you have to take accountability and responsibility for it and say, yes, this mess was created by me. And therefore, I am the only one who can get myself out of it. And once you take that approach, you get strength and you get the ability and you get, most importantly, you get the power. You take your power back. This is why I always tell the black people when they talk about white people, the white man did this, the white man did that, and slavery, da 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 da. And it's just like, all you're doing is releasing your power. You've purged your power. You've handed your power over to white people and said, because they're the ones that did this to you, they're the only ones that can save you. That gives you no power. But if you say, you know what? We as a people are in this situation because we failed and made a mistake somewhere in our history. Then you can start to turn the tables. But what that does is when you accept responsibility and accountability for your situation, it gives you power. And that's what people need. They need power. Steph Colonel said Kevin's detractors are the ones who propped up his popularity. They could have easily ignored him, but chose not to. Yes, haters make people famous, man. Absolutely. Rev, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to just finish off with a couple points. And one is he held men and women just as equally accountable. So the whole idea that he's a misogynist and they're trying to cancel him and all this stuff, it's like he was telling guys that you're broke and you can't be, you can't be expecting this from a woman because you're broke. You're not in the 1%, you're not in the 10%.
Right.
So anyone who says that, I'm like, you haven't watched any of his content. You hear some little trigger or some little clip off YouTube where he's calling out a single mom or someone that he calls a four that's like 35 with 2 kids and divorced and wants to marry a high status, high value man. But I won't settle for a plumber making $250 a year. But, if you're making $100K as a whatever media person, then that's better. So yeah, that was a big thing. Whenever people are trying to cancel him over that sort of stuff, it's like, as abrasive as it is, he's just as hard on men as he is on women. It's just mostly women called in, right? Because they're the ones that needed the most help. And that's one of the biggest problems. And final thing I just wanted to say was that he did confirm on one of his show that he did get the lovely jungle juice as he's a New Yorker and wanted to travel internationally. So that was another aspect of that.
Yes. I spoke about that today with Jason Whitlock on his show. And that, I believe I already told you guys, is coming this Monday. But yeah, so I want to touch on something that Rev brought up. The detractors, right? The detractors are wholly, in charge of, escalating his brand. But the term misogyny, right? The term misogyny is as meaningful as the term racist, is as meaningful as the term white supremacist. Merely voting for Donald Trump makes someone a white supremacist. It's quite odd to me. Everything is racist, right? So the word racist really has lost all meaning. Well, misogynistic has lost all meaning. Misogynistic means you hate women. I just saw them earlier on YouTube and they were cussing him out because he was hanging out with an Asian woman. Obviously, he doesn't hate women. Maybe he just hates women like you. So what they do is they try to label you with the whole misogynistic label so that I believe a lot of times, it's a signal, right? It's a signal to their cohort. The progressives signal to the cohort. We've labeled this person as a misogynist, and therefore this is how we deal with them going forward. So it almost puts a barrier on your growth, right? Progressives are the gatekeepers to growth. They're the gatekeepers. I should say gatekeepers to exponential growth. Can you get it without them? Absolutely. But they do gatekeep exponential growth because they have all the channels and avenues to mainstream, blah, 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 blah. So when a man dies, what do they do? What do they call him? They call him misogynistic in their headline, right? Because they got to label things that they disagree with as bad, make it an enemy. That helps. Once you make something an enemy, you can use this to rally your troops. This is in my book, Dominate Twitter. And they'll use this for political clout, right? They'll use this for more of a political battleground. But the term misogynistic has been completely... in fact, it's funny because the simps that they hang out with are the ones more likely to sexually assault a woman or rape her or something like that. We see it time and time again. I remember when they had... DeRay and them, Yeah, he was DeRay McKesson was hanging out with some dude at a party, and a bunch of women were sexually assaulted at a party DeRay McKesson was at, right? And this is the left wing, protect all black women crowd. So I'm always leery when I see men say, "Hey, yeah, I'm a feminist and raw women's rights," and I'm like, you probably a pedo. Anyway, but yeah, I again, misogynistic, meaning you've triggered my emotions, you've triggered my insecurity, so therefore you're bad, and you're not supposed to talk about women like this, and only we can talk about women, and da 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 da. You're not being sympathetic, da 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 da. Gotta see it. What's up, man? I see you. Talk to me, man. Welcome to the stage.
How you doing? How's everything?
Oh, life is muy bueno, man. Talk to me, man. How do you feel about the life and death of Kevin Samuels?
Okay, I like to say once I saw the title for this room, my first answer was yes, right?
What? He's a hero?
Yes. I said yes, just in general.
Okay.
Like hero and villain. You know what I mean? And I only look at it from an observer point of view. You know what I mean? Because when you look at things from the objective standpoint, like what he was saying was just simply based off of the environment we live in currently, which helps put things back into perspective, which is needed, because people, we live in two different realities, you know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of like how I see it. But he did something that I caught one of your episodes. Actually, you had a good episode on What Is Money show, right? And yeah, that was a good one, by the way.
Thank you.
He definitely demonstrated and didn't explicate. You know what I mean? Like, and the crazy thing is, if you look back, he was already doing the work a long time ago with men, and he didn't get attention until he started bringing that to women.
Right.
And I was talking to my boy about this, and it was like, when he did this with men, it wasn't much argument. It was kind of like
nobody was around.
Nobody was around, and they was getting clapped, and then that was the end of the conversation.
Yep.
And then when what we noticed was what we mentioned was when you don't package things in the way women would like it, according to their feelings,
right?
This is the result. And I don't knock, and I'm not trying to make this a gender thing or nothing like that, but we all know we move different, men and women. So, and the thing about him was Kevin had a feminine under, so he was able to argue and control of each conversation, and I feel like that drove just more attention to the space, on top of everything that everybody had brought to the day in terms of triggering and saying all these things. And it was just like, it was just interesting to see. I stopped watching because it got repetitive after a while, but it was interesting to just witness, because he got so much attention just in a small amount of time. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely that reaction that definitely made an impact. Done is done. You know what I mean? Like, but you don't make this kind of noise if you didn't do some type of necessary work. That's how.
That's a good point. Jabari Judah, thank you for the super chat. He said, I haven't seen any 7 and up who are in happy relationships making fun of them on my timeline. All the ones dancing as grains have a certain look and status. Bingo. Greek RP said, high value men, top 10%, think and feel the same thing Kevin's platform and content provided. Hard work, accountability, and realistic expectations. He was pro-family and pro-black men more than most influencers. Godfather for real. I just got a shorty up on the stage. Lil Emmy Scuddy, Every Woman. What's up? Talk to us. What's on your mind?
Hi,
Kevin Samuels, hero or villain?
Wanted to get on. I have to agree with the last guy who spoke. I think the answer is yes, for sure. I think he kind of embodied both roles. Really, I think my statement that I had, and question more so I had for you, is how I agree. I think the word misogynistic is kind of thrown out a little too much. I think maybe the word to better describe him was slightly sexist. I think it was the same. He wasn't practicing what he preached. Like, you know what I'm saying? He talked about women owning homes when he was subletting an apartment in the city. He didn't even own property himself. He talked about women being married when he wasn't married. He was dating women 40 years younger than him. I guess my question to you then is how he can call himself a lover of Black women, but then turn around in the same sentence and call her a bitch or a cow. I don't understand how that's trying to build up the community by calling her out her name.
You know, he's more like Batman, right? You know, Batman might hurt an innocent civilian. Superman probably won't, right? So, you know, if we think about Kevin Samuels as a hero, he's more of the Batman archetype where he's going to hurt somebody's feelings that he probably shouldn't. He's going to destroy some public property that he probably shouldn't. And that's just a personality thing. You called him sexist. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Can you tell me what when you say sexist,
Absolutely.
what that?
So, sexist means literally what sexist means. I think he attacked women just for being women because he did not keep the same energy towards men. If he did, he would have kept the same energy towards himself. He was a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? He sat up here and talked down to women when, again, he literally died unmarried. He didn't own the apartment he was living in. So how can you cast stones in a glass house? I don't really understand.
Well, I think it comes down to what are your desires, right? And I think that some women desire a relationship, right? And desire a man that can take care of them or whatever it is that they desire. And he was giving them advice on getting that which they desire to acquire what you desire. I don't think necessarily maybe he was looking to be in a relationship. I mean, if you're Kevin Samuels, you got 1.4 million YouTube subscribers, a relationship probably isn't in your best interest. You might want to just play the field, you know, and enjoy life and not having to be, you know, locked down to one woman. He's in the RP space, you know, so like dating's a part of him.
So then why didn't he own his home? He, you know, talked down to women for not having anything. You don't own anything. You don't bring anything to the table. But he was subletting an apartment in the city. I'm not understanding why he wouldn't just rent her own.
I'm not familiar with his property, but I can tell you that off his YouTube alone, the man was making 6 figures. So he might not have had the house, but the man had money.
Right, and I understand that. But then, again, you're contradicting yourself. You can have all the money in the world, but like now he left nothing behind but his money. He didn't leave any property. He didn't leave a wife to pass it down to. So I'm not necessarily understanding how, again, you can preach this, but you don't practice what you preach. And then you're asking, is he a hero or a villain? I mean, I don't even think we can even put the word hero up there. Like, really, did he have good messages? Yes, but hero, that's a little far.
Hero is a little far, she says. I respect your opinion. You know, we all have these opinions, and I absolutely respect it. The only thing I'm a little bit, have a little discrepancy on the fact you say he didn't keep the same energy with men when he actually did. I've seen him go in on men. I've seen him go in on men in person. Like the way he was with women, that's how he is. Like, he just tells it to you like straight. And I've been in person with him where like people have asked him like for advice, and he just told them straight up like, yo, what you got on looks whack. Look at you. Like, right. And he just start roasting you. Like, that's just how he is.
When I say keep the same energy, right, there's something that comes to mind where he was calling a man literally a bitch boy for saying that he worked in like the medical field. I don't remember specifically what field he said he worked in, but it was a medical field, and he called him a bitch boy and hung up on him. So yeah, when I say keep the same energy, I mean, you talk down to women way more than you talk down to men. So like, even when he got on live with Nicki Minaj, his whole entire demeanor changed because he knew in a snap of a finger, she could shut him down forever. He'd literally be done. So I just don't understand why. I think for him, it was a power thing. You sit up here and you talk down to women that you know really can't do anything. You know, your following will back you up and their following will not. And I just don't understand how we can view that as him trying to build women up when clearly a lot of his interactions with women were strictly and purely to break them down.
I didn't watch the Nicki Minaj. I never consumed Kevin Samuels content outside of a few clips that may have gone viral. I just didn't need it. I'm an old man myself. I didn't see the Nicki Minaj situation. Can you tell me about that? What was that about? Was that on IG Live? Did she call in? Did he go on her channel? What happened?
I don't know if it was on his or hers. I'm not too sure on that. But yeah, they were speaking on live. I know he rated her a 10, I believe.
Okay.
He was speaking to her extremely respectful. I don't think the word bitch ever was even mentioned in the conversation. She probably really had an attitude with him. And again, his attitude towards her, even though she had an attitude, was completely different. But when a regular woman gets in your live and maybe has a hint of an attitude or a hint of a tone, she's a bitch, she's a cow. Bye, bum. Why? I don't understand. Keep the same energy.
I don't know if we can give Nicki Minaj the same energy as a random woman on Instagram. I think, I would be different if I had Nicki Minaj on, maybe because I like Nicki Minaj. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know if that's comparing apples to apples is what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, ultimately I'll head off soon, but I just think, one, I don't think anyone should be celebrating the man's death. That's sick. That's evil. I think it's bitter. And, you can't call him evil and then turn around and, match his same energy. That's kind of weird. But I also don't think that people should necessarily be praising him for the work that he did, because if that was your sister or your mother that he called a bitch, I believe a lot of people's mindsets would be completely different. He
was calling women bitches, like, directly to them? Or just saying them directly to them, like, you a bitch, like shit like that?
He would say something along the lines of bye bitch or something like that. So correct, directed at them. Yeah, then that's just not okay.
Kevin was a wild boy. He was a wild boy. I mean, I like I said, I would never be that type of person towards women. I don't have it in me to be like that. So I could feel, I definitely can sympathize with your sentiment. I appreciate your words.
The last thing I just want to put my little 2 cents in is, it's funny how someone like Brittany Renner, men talk down on her and call her a whore and disgusting, all this kind of stuff. But, they don't want to necessarily quote unquote listen to her message like we're telling Kevin Samuels. Listen to the message. The same energy isn't kept for women. If a woman was in his platform and she was spewing that type of shit to men, calling them peons, bitch asses, whatever other insult you want to, slur, the energy would be completely different.
You know what my theory is on that? I believe it's because of so people have you believe we live in a patriarchy, and I believe we live in a matriarchy. And I think subconsciously men expose that they know we live in a matriarchy when they exude behavior like that. Why? Because they expect better of women. They expect women to behave better than men do. So when women act like men, it annoys them because they understand that women are the supreme entity of the race, of the species. Agree or disagree?
I guess I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's a really sound theory. I appreciate your words. Let me try and get some more people up here. Stick around if you like. I can't. Yang, I'm not saying your name, bro. You're not about to get me saying that shit. Welcome to the stage, man. I'm gonna get a couple more people up here. Yang, what's up, man? Talk to me, yo.
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, bet. How you doing today, man?
I'm marvelous. I'm marvelous. Kevin Samuels, hero or villain?
You know what I'm saying? I try not to judge. I just use people for, you know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is at the end of the day. Honestly, I think he's just a smart dude. He's a whole doctor, man. He see a niche in society and how society's going. And you know what I'm saying? He capitalized on it. You feel me? I mean, I feel like a lot of men think that, you know, women basically run the world right now. Men walk on eggshells at work, at home when they get home to their wife, all type of shit. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of frustration with men, especially black men, because the way the gender roles back in the day got switched with, you know what I'm saying, Section 8 housing and just taking the man out the house and all that shit that they did back then, it's just reverberating now. But a lot of men just have that frustration because men, you know what I'm saying, or women, I should say, have been programmed to be more masculine, you know what I'm saying, strong woman instead of, you know what I'm saying, a womanly woman. You feel me? But just on circumstances that they had to deal with in the past and a whole bunch of other ookie spooky shit. But I want to get to my ookie spooky notes real quick, if you don't mind. Doing some gematria real quick. Kevin Samuels was reportedly dead 5/6, May 5th, 86 days after that Future interview. Let's get to it. Let's go.
You said he was 86 days after the Future music video?
No, after his Future interview, because he interviewed Future.
Oh, the interview. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 86 days after that, keep that in mind. Future. The rumors came on his 54th day of being 56 years old. Mm-hmm. We've seen this pattern a lot. Jesuit order equals 56. Society Jesus equals. Jesuit order equals 54. Society of Jesus equals 56. The man's bio, anyway, on his, I think in his biography, says he was born March 13th, 1965, which means he should be 57. So the news is playing with the numbers to project whatever they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, whatever rituals they're doing, you feel me? 56, you know what I'm saying? Society of Jesus, 54. Jesuit Order, 54. Black Lives Matters equals 56. Dr. Kevin Samuels equals 56. Like I said, he did a Future interview 8/2, February 8th. 82 is like the reverse is 28. You got the full reduction. Healing Together, that's the show's title, is 82. Future, it equals 28 in the full reduction. Let's keep cooking.
We got the gematria.
The site also says his birthday at March, or on Wikipedia it said his birthday was March 13th, but different year, 1971, which would make him 56. You know what I'm saying? Future also
So are you saying that the Illuminati has something to do with this?
That's what I'm saying. Let's keep cooking. He was also in all right, so
no, we get the picture. We get the picture. The numbers align. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The numbers align. Is this an Illuminati hit job? Is that what you're saying?
Confirmed. Yo, this nigga, he did a video saying Alpha Psi Pi changed his life. Kappa Alpha Psi Phi. He's in a fraternity, one of those Illuminati black fraternities. It's a whole bunch of other stuff I got on my list. You feel me? But yeah, it's getting ookie spooky. He was real combative, which raises, you know what I'm saying, emotions in people who aren't confident with themselves, which is basically no one nowadays. But you know what I'm saying, he's good for views, nigga. He's on YouTube. It's a lot of shit, man. Controlled opposition. He's meant to rile you up, get you mad, and distract you from focusing on yourself.
Who?
Like you say all the time, Hotep and Build.
Oh man, Hotep and Bill, appreciate you. We got the gematria came through, laid down the law. Appreciate you. Welcome to this, huh?
I sent you some shit on Zachary K. Hubbard. He's a master at it. He's on YouTube. They delete him all the time.
All right, I'll check it out, but I probably won't. But Sin, that's fine. I'm just not into that shit. That's fine. That's all I gotta say. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Keep at it, man. One day I might need you, and I'll be like, yo, what's the numbers on this? I need you to be sharp with it. I'm gonna bring Sin and man Sadie. I want to hear from the ladies. Sin, unmute yourself. You on the stage? Talk to me. What's going on?
Yeah, so I think I watched a good amount of Kevin Samuels. I got the idea of basically like what his message was. I agree with the other woman who was speaking. Definitely wouldn't call him a hero, but I do think the reason why like we listened to him, the reason why a lot of people were like intrigued by what he was saying, is because he was able to talk about things that was going on in our community that usually are like taboo to speak on, like single mothers and kind of like just how we decide to have relationships, how we act in relationships. And I think a lot of that needed to be said. I don't agree with necessarily how he would always say it, or, you know, him being disrespectful of women. But I definitely think he played an important role in waking up people, or just like giving them the courage to be like, oh, you know what? There's some problems in the Black community we got to focus on, and we should talk about these things. So.
You believe that in the Black community, single motherhood is a problem?
For sure.
Is this a predominantly male problem, female problem, or would you place the blame on all parties?
I would place the blame on all parties. But I don't think there was a problem with him focusing on the responsibility that women play in that. You know, like don't spread your legs. Don't have a child with somebody that you don't plan on marrying, or you don't plan on having a serious, at least some type of serious relationship with, because it just puts that child and yourself in a worse position.
You agree with that?
So
you agree with that?
Do I agree with that statement?
Yes, the you know, because right now we have this whole sexual revolution, you know, pop your coochie, bad girl summer, whatever, you know, demon time, whatever's going on. But he's saying
that's all a lie. I think there's more power in you being more choosy, less promiscuous, less like out there. I think there's more power in that, and you give yourself a better chance at like happiness and success if you do the opposite of that.
You've been raised by,
and that's my experience with what I've seen as well.
You've been raised by a mother and father?
Oh, a mother and a father?
Yes.
Married 25 years.
You know, yeah. It's.
I come from a two-parent household.
Yeah, I can tell. It's usually the daddy issue girls that are out here.
And I know not everybody agrees with that, but you know.
Yeah. No.
That's fine. I know everyone doesn't agree.
I think it's beautiful what you just said. I think it's beautiful that women like you still exist. Are you single?
No, I'm married.
You're married. See, fellas, the good ones is always gone.
I am.
You see, the good ones is always gone. I was going to try and hit you with one of the homies in the chat that's watching. You know what I mean? But as you can see, she was taking somebody was smart enough to take off the market. And as she said, she's married. These are the type of women that men are marrying. The ones that practice and believe in chastity. That ain't got the oochie coochie all in the street. Now you got your oochie coochie all in the street and you wonder why nobody want to marry you. Sin, you are a gem. Thank you very much for that. Sadie, what happened to you? I thought you was, and feel free to stick around too if you like. Sadie, go ahead. Hopefully I said your name right. Hero or villain, Kevin Samuels.
Oh, hey everybody. First of all, I want to say, every woman in sin, I agree with everything that you guys are saying. But right now, we are definitely, I want to tell you guys something seriously. And I want everyone in this group to take this and listen to what I'm saying. If you do not think that the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Satanist worshipers are not real, you have got to do your research, guys. And so, what's his name? Maya. Instantly, I'm not a fan of the guy who passed, but I can say that I instantly, when I saw that he passed and I saw how controversial he was, I instantly thought that someone purposely had taken his life. And I know a lot of people are going to joke and laugh and think that that's not real, but a lot of times our government, if our government knows about it, why can't we as normal, regular people know about it? Why are you guys laughing at me? Why is this a joke? Why can't y'all really take a look and listen? These presidents are handpicked. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe that his death a woman probably was upset about some things that he was saying and probably got him knocked off. A Freemason could have got him knocked off. I don't believe at all that it was cardiac arrest. Not with that big platform. But I'm not going to speak too much on it because you guys got to go do your own research. Your president, the government, they know about the how religion and how politics tie in together. They know about it, but when I speak about it, it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm crazy. But no. This is real. I truly believe that he could have been. It might not be, but I've seen it. You guys got to just really do your research. So that's all I have to say. But yeah, sin in every woman, and also the guys that's agreeing about women always giving their bodies up. I feel like we should all have self-worth. I feel like we should all not want to throw our bodies around, not just women. It shouldn't be put on. A man can't say, hey, I can go fuck everybody I want to touch and put my little penis there. Yeah, I got this. I'm a man. I'm just built like this. God made me like this. So I just have a penis. Sometimes I get horny. I got a wife, but she got a fat ass. Like, no, because if I got to be conservative, so do you.
Bars. I agree. Wait, who is it?
If I'm not giving my body around, you don't give yours around. You got to save yours too. I don't want you messing around with every woman in the city. Every thotty in the city.
Talk your shit. Where you from, New York?
I'm originally from Cali, but I was raised in Atlanta.
You got brothers?
No, I don't. I'm the oldest. Well, I have a brother, but I'm the oldest.
You got mother and father?
I do. I have a stepmom and dad.
Stepmom and dad. So the dad,
Yep.
Your dad's been in your life heavily, I'm assuming.
Very much.
I'm seeing a comment thread here, Sadie. Am I saying your name right?
Yes.
You're giving me Hotep vibes. I'm getting lots of incense and Egyptian musk coming from your side of the world. Was you raised on Farrakhan, or where are you getting your consciousness from?
I started studying conspiracy theories when I was 20. I'm 25, about to be 26, so about 6 years now. This year is supposed to be the year that I really read books, and really reading literal books from how do I explain it? From real conspiracy theorists and real actual books where all of this information comes from, so that when I get on these type of conversations, I can go ahead and spit facts. Like, I'm the type, my grandmother is the type to say, vote for Biden. Biden is the best president. Go vote. And I'm the type that, like, I don't like politics because I think it's evil. I think, you know what I'm saying? But for me to explain that, I would have to be well more educated, and I would have to really study my shit so I can get on here and really pop my shit and really get people to believe what I'm saying is true. Yeah. So.
And where you don't have a Cali accent. Where you said you was from again?
Georgia. I was raised in Georgia.
You was raised in Georgia, but you got a New York accent and you from Cali.
I don't think I have a New York accent. I've heard that before. People have told me that I remind them of somebody from New York, and I'm not. People from New York are great. I can't. I'm Southern and West Coast all the way.
The chat is asking, is Sadie single?
No, I'm not.
See? I told y'all, the good ones is always snatched up. Y'all better see, you know what happens? Us men, we catch ourselves a good one, break her heart, we let it go, and the next man grabs her and marries her. You gotta move quick, fellas. You gotta move quick. Sadie, powerful words, man. Powerful words. I appreciate your words. Feel free to stick around on the stage. I'm gonna get some other people up here unless you got more to add. Let's see. I feel like I'm done. All right. Appreciate you. I'm gonna get Brandy up here. I love the female energy. You know what I'm saying? Or is this? Hold on. Let me see. Who is this person? The branding blogger. Okay, this is a female. So I love the female energy. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm gonna get y'all back up here in just a second. We're gonna get the branding blogger up here and find out from her. Is Kevin Samuels a hero or a villain? Brandon blogger.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Talk to us.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think that he was both. I think he was flawed, like all of us are. There were a lot of topics that I agreed with, and a lot of topics that I thought were outrageous and probably were for clout, you know. And I believe in duality. So, hero or villain, it depends on how you look at it. And I actually was live one time on his show, and I think that he was, for the most part, practical in his delivery and just blunt in what he said. Some of the things just last week he had posted something that just had me so pissed. But, you know, for people to just listen in a state of emotion, I don't think that that's how you really learn stuff and understand people. So yeah, I just think that he was a equal balance of both. And one of my issues that I just had with some of his delivery is how he spoke in absoluteness without, you know, just weighing in other options and allowing maybe his listeners to believe that there were no exceptions to some of the things that he said.
The welcoming of nuance. Yeah. That makes sense. That's a fair opinion. You use the term duality. Are you a tarot card reader? Do you be looking at the stars? What's going on with you?
I dabble with that. You know, I think that those are all tools, but again, they're not the absolute to, you know, understanding our true purpose in life. They're tools that we can use. But I don't believe that one out of the other is, you know, the absolute course of finding yourself or unlocking the truth of the mysteries of the world.
Mother and father grew up with him, yes or no?
What's that?
Mom and dad. Did you grow up with your mom and dad?
Yeah, my parents are still together. 34 years of marriage. They had their ups and downs. I'm single, you know, but I don't think that I have daddy issues or mommy issues that are the reasons of maybe the trauma or problems, my failed relationships, for the most part.
Your failed relationships?
Yeah, like you know, if I'm single today, the relationships that I had in the past, you know, didn't lead to marriage. So in some way, that people can view it as being failed, but the way that I see it today is, you know, the lessons that I took from them didn't necessarily make it a true failure, but society could definitely argue that, and I think that some of maybe Kevin Samuel's followings would argue that as well.
Your dad was a big part of your life, right?
Yes, and he still is.
I see a trend here. It seems like women with fathers in their lives have a little bit more logical approach and less emotional approach to things. I find that quite fascinating, although albeit not shocking at all. So you're single. How old are you?
I'm in my 30s. So according to Kevin Samuels, I'll be a leftover.
We was just about to play Kevin. I was just about to jump in that role. How old are you? How much do you weigh? How much do you make? What kind of man you want? Fellas, we might have a good one. She seems like she comes from good stock. I thought she was a lot younger than what she said she was. Fellas, hop on that one. That one seems to be safe. Check her out. I appreciate your words. Your words were quite exquisite. I think you added a lot to the conversation. There was something I want to ask you. Oh yeah, where you from?
I'm from Jersey.
Jersey. Jersey in the household. Where my horn at?
In the building.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm from Jersey, born and raised. I recognize the up north accent. Yeah, but no, I totally agree. I totally agree on the Kevin Samuel situation. I appreciate your words. I'm gonna get the next call up here. What is these? Okay, K Stack. Shout out to K Stack super chat. She said shout out Hotep Jesus and Kevin Samuels RIP for encouraging me to hijab and cook. Yes. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. Did she drop? No, she's still there. Actually, all four of the ladies I brought up. Hot Girl Summer, Demon Time, Pop your coochie like this. There is a tremendous sexual revolution that has monetized the woman's body, while at the same time devaluing it. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you guys would agree with that statement and tell me. I want to start with Miss Branding Blogger. Tell me, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to fix this? You know, I take a hands-off approach, right? Like, I'm not telling women like what they should do. I push my hijab all summer, you know, hijabs for the summer. You know, that's my push. But I usually let the ladies handle these conversations because women are going to be better related to other women, right? And there's young girls that are watching, and the young girls need mentors, and they need women mentors. So, ladies, how are we going to stop the debauchery that's happening, especially in the Black community? I'm going to start with the Brandon Blogger.
I think it's tough, honestly, because I see both sides, you know, like, you know, as a woman, I think that, like, you know, our womb is powerful, you know, and not exposing that to just everybody, you know, life comes out of there. However, like, you know, these hot girl summers, I get what they're saying. No, honestly. I mean, I get it. Like, it's their prerogative at the end of the day. But I hate how the way the media portrays, like, you know, being promiscuous and, you know, on demon time and stuff is more popular and gets you attention. I don't know how to really change that, honestly. I think that it's on an individual level. Maybe if more women really see value in themselves, the narrative would change. Actually, we drive influence.
I'm glad you said that, because I agree with that. Y'all do drive influence. That's why the Democrats always got y'all coming to do their work. Every woman, talk to me. What are your opinions and thoughts on this?
Honestly, I can't necessarily say a direct answer to that. I can't tell the women how to carry themselves. I treat my body like a temple. However, I know a lot of women decide to live the way they do. I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to talk down on them. But that's just my personal preference. So I think that answer is really, really, really loaded. That's something I would have to really think about and sit down and talk about. But
do you believe it's a problem?
I think I'm sorry?
Do you believe that the current actions of Black women in this sphere of demon time, poppy pussy for the summer, is good for us as a whole?
Unfortunately, no, I don't. Not at all. I think using your body as a weapon ultimately kind of makes you look like a little silly. That's not getting back at someone. I think it has to do a lot like with healing. I don't think you should necessarily want to go fuck someone's brother or something because they upset you. I think you should sit down and heal. Using your body as a weapon should never be the answer. But again, I think a lot of women are ultimately going to do what they want to do, regardless of what outside sources are telling them.
Indeed. Great response. Miss Sadie, talk to me. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this?
Man.
Take your time. Take your time.
To what I said. Well, so for me, I think that, women are going to do what they want to do. I definitely think that the reason why now, I think that women were way more conservative back in the days a little bit, but when we have social media involved in things, and when we have the media involved in things, it creates so the media's purpose, the Freemasons' purpose, y'all, is this. It is to get women to get to separate the Black man and the Black woman. So to do that, they're going to put out these artists, quote unquote, puppets that are going to market that to young women and young men. So it shows young women that, hey, if the city girls say, fucking nigga get money, whoop-de-whoop, then that's okay. And a lot of emotionally, mental health is a big factor in that too. Mental health is probably one of the largest factors. Once a man or a woman is emotionally battered by somebody they truly love and they were faithful, they weren't throwing their bodies around, then their mental is so fucked up, unfortunately, that sometimes they feel like, hey, the only escape is to be promiscuous, or the only way for me to get through this is to, you know, have sex with a lot of dudes, or, you know, and when men do it too. Men are like, only way to get through this, my girl did me bad in high school, or women ain't shit, or my mom, I seen men and women come. I mean, I seen men come in and out of her life. So let me have sex with all of these women. Like it's environmental, and the media is capitalizing off of the Black environment. So it's they see. I mean, they're putting. I mean, look at TK, guns and shooting, and now we got drill music. We got kids in Chicago. My dad's family is from Chicago. Like the young boys in Chicago are killing each other left and right. It's all the media. The media is huge, and I think the only way to change this, if we made music videos about conservativeness, then everybody would be conservative. But until then, well, we gonna have Cardi B WAP out, and we gonna have, the only way to change it is to change the dynamic of how the music and the media makes us feel, and teaching our children that, hey, value yourself, value your body. If my daughter can't do that, then that's on her. I've taught her, I've done my part. She's gonna have to learn the hard way. If she can't learn from me. And honestly, I'm not the most perfect woman. I love my body. I love only having one man and not throwing it around. But when I was younger, I did have a moment of weakness, and I was like, well, I was going through a very tough phase in my life, and I wasn't necessarily having sex with a lot of men. But that's only because my morals wouldn't let me. The media was one. That's what because of what I seen everybody else doing at such a young age, I was like, well, maybe I should post a little butt cheek or a little, but it just didn't feel right to me. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, that's how you know spirits is real, good and evil, duality. When she said duality, look at all these new music videos. I want y'all to look at all these new music videos. If you see a black and white checkerboard, tell me I'm lying. That's duality. Good doesn't exist without evil, y'all.
Oh my God. Burnt it down. Every woman, did you want to respond to that before we go to Sin?
Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. I think Sadie was spitting true facts, but I know she said it's like a spiritual thing for women. I think also sometimes it's not even that deep. A lot of women, this is like, want to kind of like bag this rich life. They see girls on social media who bag rappers because they have these BBL bodies and they have super slim waists. Yep. I think, okay, I can fuck my way to the top. And I think that a lot of women, I think the biggest thing is about respect. And going back to Kevin Samuels, I think that was the message he was trying to preach. And I respect him and I appreciate that. However, I think sometimes that message was lost in the deliverance.
Well said. Sin, tell us, what are your thoughts on this debauch culture, and what can we do about it?
They said it all. Sadie, every woman, they really just said it all. I don't really have a lot to add. I think it's exactly kind of what Sadie was talking about, is pressure of the culture. Like, a lot of these girls, they're not really thinking about what they're doing. Like, they're just kind of like, it's almost like a brainwashing type thing where they just feel, oh, this is what women are doing, so this is what I'm going to do. So how do you change it? You have to change the culture. You have to change parenting. Like, these women need guidance. They need mothers. They need to know that they're free to do or not do that. And I don't have a problem with women who are making that choice consciously and not from a pressure of like, oh, I need to do this to like get a man, or I need to do this for attention, or I need to do this to show that I'm like an independent, minded woman. Like, think about your motivations for doing things.
Let me ask y'all this. We live in this supremely progressive society, and with supreme progressive feminism afoot, right? And with the sex workers and the support of sex workers and all that stuff happening, and all the rhetoric that comes along with it. Do y'all feel pressured to be quiet, to stay quiet? Is that just online? Is it different offline? Are there women that don't agree with this debauch culture that you hang with? Or is it something else? I'm trying to just get insight into why one side of the female conversation is so dominant and the other side we don't hear from. Like, we had 4 ladies up here and y'all all pretty much agree. on, you know, we shouldn't have this debauched culture. Yet you look at the timeline, it's debauchery everywhere. So do you guys feel pressured from your female counterparts to stay quiet because you might get dragged or anything like that?
I mean, we've seen how cruel the internet can be, so absolutely. Certain things, I'll just, I'll move with grace, and me and the ones around me will move with grace. However, I'm not going to get on the internet and tell someone that prostitution shouldn't be normalized, because then everyone gonna drag me to field like, oh my God, how dare you say that? You know what I'm saying? You crazy for saying that. You're sexist. You're not a feminist. Go to hell. Kill yourself. I ain't got time for all that. I feel the way I feel. I'm not gonna necessarily express it because, again, the internet is extremely cruel. But I move with grace.
Sadie, Sandy, y'all feel the same way? Brandon, Blocker, do y'all feel the same way that you don't want to speak up because you're afraid to get dragged?
It's not that I'm afraid to get dragged. It's just that I don't have the energy to, stand up and for my truth. I don't need to, where I'm at right now, I don't need to convince my point of view to anybody. To each his own, and as long as it doesn't affect me directly or my family, then fine. And as far as what we see, it's all, I feel like, in the algorithm. I know so many great queens that don't have to expose themselves for attention, and it's the saying, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. And I think that's how I move. I think that the tribe that I attract, we're all on the same mindset. And that's the audience that I want to be surrounded with. And that's the stimuli that I want to put my energy in for the most part.
I get that. And I was, when I look at how the timeline has been acting, I kind of assumed that, yeah, these people are probably bullied into not saying anything, because I'm sure there's good women out there that don't agree with the way society is going these days. Cannon Hotep, salute, late to the party. What up, bro? Aaron P said, remember Mofax said they were coming for the manosphere? Yo, I had Mofax on this platform a couple of weeks back, or whenever it was. And yes, indeed, that did happen. He did say they're going to come after the manosphere, which sort of leans into, Sadie's Illuminati argument. I'm leaning more towards that. Martian, what's up, man? Talk to me. What's on your mind, brother?
All right. So, first, I wanted to say that I definitely haven't seen, and the reason why I say that is because it's important that we remember divine polarity, right? Because Batman had a list of about 11 different mental disorders. He had this dissociative identity disorder, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, antisocial personality disorder, amongst other things. So he was pretty insane, but he was able to do good things, right? And so the reason why I'm saying that is because where I'm at as far as reading Jordan P. Maxwell or Jordan Maxwell and Manly P. Hall, they talk about the different sects of Freemasonry and how they talk about divine polarity and how there must be a loophole for us to get through, right? So I have a hard time believing, especially from where I live. I live right outside of DC, and there's a big tower everybody says is a synagogue. If you go up to it, it's actually the National Freemasonic Memorial. Now inside of there, George Washington in his different diaries talk about the Knights of Malta and different sects of Freemasonry invading Western sects of Freemasonry via the Illuminati. So that's important to remember. Also, what's important to remember is that Confederate General Albert Pike was a Freemason, right? But he went before the Supreme Court with Abraham Lincoln and argued on the behalf of Black Native Americans, right? So I have a hard time believing that all these different sects of Freemasonry are against each other, right? Because Jordan P. Maxwell also talks about the Council of 33, and their job is maintaining balance. And the Council of 33, I believe they're right in DC, and it's the head Masons of 33 degrees, and they control global Freemasonry. And where they meet up, it's identical to the same building as the the Supreme Court Justice, and it's a huge building, or the Supreme Court building. It looks exactly identical to it. But back to what I was saying is that what I believe and from what I've researched as far as Jordan Maxwell, and he was talking about the Freemasons made numerous like attempts on his life, right? He was saying that the Council of 33 reached out to him and told him that he has a purpose bigger than him, and his job was to be the loophole to awaken people spiritually, so that there is a chance, because Freemasons believe in karmatic law of consequence, which is why they project their agenda via symbolism, because they want us to have a loophole, because they believe that if they just outright take power, they'll have negative consequences in the afterlife, which is why they use symbolism to try to hint what they're, and it's upon us to like read the symbolism. So that's why I believe they allowed Jordan Maxwell.
Okay, what the hell did that have to do with Kevin Samuels being a hero?
Oh, okay. So the reason why it had to do with Kevin Samuels being a hero is because if you look at this, according to Manly P. Hall's books, he talks about Masons always putting the triangle. The triangle is to symbolize enlightenment, right?
Who said that?
So if you look at Kevin Samuels' videos, Manly P. Hall.
Okay.
He talks about the triangle always represents enlightenment, and how like ill-informed always think it's bad. It doesn't mean that. It just represents enlightenment with the third eye, right? So if you look at Kevin Samuels' videos, he always positions his hand that's in the shape of a triangle. And the reason why I bring that up is because he always often talks about his connection to black male fraternities, right? Now, my mom was in the military, and I know some females that are AKAs and stuff like that that are women of the Eastern Star, and they have told me that the different sororities and sororities are how they the Freemasons and Eastern Star, which is the female version of Freemasonry. That's how they get their recruits out. So I believe that if anything, that he was a necessary evil, just like Batman.
Hey man, thank you, man. Kofi on Tizite. We got Ken and Hotep about to come to the stage. Oh my God, man. Y'all done brought out the 10th floor Kofis today, man. Oh my God. We got Steph Colonel we're gonna bring to the stage in just a moment. Jesus, mama. I didn't expect y'all to go full Freemasonry on me. God damn, this is live on YouTube. What y'all trying to do, man? Y'all trying to get my account zapped. Niggas talk about that took mad long, didn't it?
Jay, how you feeling?
Canon Hotep is live. Somebody in the chat asked, how do you get into the conversation? This is a Twitter Spaces if you want to join the conversation on Twitter Spaces. And on YouTube, if you want to watch the video stream and contribute to the conversation, super chat, ask questions, make comments, you can do that as well. Cannon, what's up, man? Kevin Samuels, hero or villain?
Not much. You can hear me good?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to say he was the anti-hero, yo. He was an anti-hero. But he was like Barton said, he was necessary, right? So watch him. I watched some stuff. Watch him. He's giving that unflawed truth to people, right? Most of the people that he was speaking to, a lot of the women that he was getting into these debates with, they had a chip on their shoulder, for lack of a better term, right? So he kind of brought them down to earth with his I'm gonna say rhetoric or his opinions. However, I don't think that any of those women walked away not learning something about them. You know, for better or for worse, I think they learned, they took something away from those conversations with him, and not that they felt like he was an asshole or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because what he was saying to these women, is shit that guys won't say because we're trying to get the draws. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Guys mostly sugarcoat stuff. Good, you fine. They know goddamn well they lying. They just trying to smash for them. You know what I mean? And a lot of women take that shit and run with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and a lot of these women got always a book called The Celestine Prophet. You ever heard of it?
Yep.
All right, so the very first chapter talks about kind of what's going on now with like social media and shit. So you got a lot of people that have they look through these rose-colored glasses at themselves and stuff like that. Like you got, like y'all said earlier, with women who they thirst trapping on the gram or whatever, trying to get somebody, right? Little do they know, they're not attracting high quality guys. They're attracting guys who just trying to get at them. You know, want to have some fun and move on with their life. You know, because no guy, like we like seeing it, but no guy want to take you serious. No guy's gonna want to marry a chick who, you know, her fucking nudes or her spring bikini live forever on the internet. You know what I mean? Everybody done seen it. Nobody want that. You know what I mean? So you look at those women as like, man, she might be fun. She ain't wife material. And look how she conducting herself on social media just for likes. You know what I mean? You know,
Absolutely.
What happened if she in the market and a nigga say you look good? You know, like, you got to worry about that. You know, because those women that do all of that stuff for attention, they'll do all that shit for attention in real life. You know, because some people can't separate social media life from the actual reality. You know, and I think that's what he was trying to do, is bring their asses back to reality when they talk to him. A lot of them women get on there with, I'm gonna tell them off. I'm gonna read them his rights. And I think they got disappointed, and they got let down, and they got told about themselves. I don't think that they walked away not learning. So I think that, like I said, he was an anti-hero. He wasn't evil. He wasn't a hero. He was just honestly, he was necessary. Also, he was a hell of a grifter, because that's a hell of a grifter. Like, he found a niche and ran with that, you know?
Yeah, he did. He found a niche and he ran with it. You right. He's all about his business, all about his chicken. You said something interesting though. You know, you basically said, you know, how I've interpreted it is, cheap bait catches cheap fish, right? So when women are using cheap bait, they're gonna get cheap men. They're gonna get ain't shit men, because their methods of getting them are cheap, right? I think that was a valuable gem you dropped right there. Also, social media is a huge problem, and I've said this before. I said it 1,000 times. A woman who is a 6 today, a woman who is an 8 today is a 6 back in the day, right? Because nowadays a 6 is getting one of them YouTube tutorial makeup faces, and I ain't even gonna hold you. After she done finished putting all the cake on her face, she looks very pretty. She looks very pretty, and I'm just like, wow, I'm shocked. But you take it off, and it's just like, ugh, you know what I mean? So men are judging women based upon their best times, right? Based upon their best makeup face, their best body, their best weight trainer, their best surgeon, whatever, right? So now 6s are acting with the ego of an 8 or a 9. Back in my day, a 6 or a 7 knew she was a 6 or a 7, and she acted like a 6 or a 7. She didn't walk around with her head high like she was a goddamn 10. And even now, the 9s and 10s don't walk around with their heads high. They usually have some sort of insecurity about them or something. So it's just really, really strange.
Yeah, it's because it's all social media, like I was saying, you know. It make it you know, that one, like them 10 hearts that some guy says some shit in your mentions to make you feel good, to get your attention. Now you think you hot shit, and he was bringing them back down to reality. But anyway, I just wanted to jump in and holler at you. I'm about to get back to work. You know?
I appreciate you. See you Hotep Nation weekend.
Yep, Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Black Elaine, I'm gonna let you speak. Go ahead. Lauren says social media got these 4s thinking they 8s. This is so true. Shit, they got the 4s thinking they dimes. Noms. What's up, man? Talk to me, Elaine. And then we're gonna go to Steph Colonel.
Quick, right? No doubt. So one thing that my boy and I were talking about, he's actually in here. Last night he was like, you know, the average black man's salary in America is a little over $40K.
Okay.
Right. And before, when we were talking about how people are getting divided, you know, through culture here and the messages through social media and whatnot, it raises the question, like, all right, if that's the stat, are women still or at all even willing to work with men, you know, to get to this quote unquote this life that they want to live and whatnot. You know what I mean?
You mean work with? You mean dealing with a dude who's making 40,000 and waiting until he blossoms?
Now, hear me out. I understand that, you know.
Is that what you're saying? That's my question. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yes. And then so I'm trying to figure out if, you know, because honestly, like, if everybody's in the same position to work and people are being told to deal with those in their lanes, right? And while it may not seem attractive at 40K, 50K, right? It may not seem that, but because your perception is a little skewed, and let me explain where I'm coming from, right? So I had the opportunity to go to Colombia and Medellin, to be specific.
Medellin.
And life out there is a little Medellin, yes, and it's definitely different. And I mean that in people, your dollar goes a very long way over there, 3.5 times in most cases. And the same things you look for here, or what you believe, or in like the material things that you believe would bring you happiness here, you can find in a lot of other places throughout the world.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
For a lot less.
Yeah.
All right. So while 40K here may not bring you far, for what we have here, it'll bring you far somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying you gotta find your happiness elsewhere in another country or whatnot.
Get you a señorita, gotita.
Nah. But I feel like if
you saying get you one of them cute little Filipino girls that don't know no English.
This guy. Nah, man. I'm saying if you can find that, like, are women still willing to work with those in their lane, or are their perceptions
all right, let's
just
talk about
extremely?
All right, let's talk about it. I get.
The point where it's just like,
I got you. Let's take it. Let's walk down this road. All right. You walking down the street, you and your homie. Let's say y'all in Miami, spring break, Memorial Day weekend. Fat girl walk down the street and the baddie walk down the street. Which one you gonna holler at? The baddie. Okay. Now you didn't say, well, you know, this fat girl, if I just stuck around a little longer, I could actually get her to lose 60 pounds and she might look all right. Right? You didn't do that, right? You went for the finished product. And that's what women are usually going to do. They're going to look for the finished product. Why would I wait for this dude to mature when I can get a dude who has already matured? Women hang out. How does Rolo say it? Something about hanging out at the finish line and catch the winners. That's what they do. They hang out at the finish line and catch themselves a winner. If you know, it's for a woman to take on a dude who only makes $40,000 a year, whatever, she'd have to see some potential in him. She'd have to see something that nobody else sees and says, okay, if I put my flag down with this dude right here, in 10 years, I'm going to be good, right? But she'd have to see that. The dude would have to be working towards something that would allow her to see that. He'd have to have some sort of character or personality that let her know, hey, I'm that dude. You see me 40K when I'm doing 40K. Imagine what I do when I get, 40 million, right? That type of situation. It would take that. And then, yeah, sure. But to say women as a whole should do that, I think that it takes a lot of skills. A woman needs to possess a lot of skills, first and foremost. But it's also a gamble. It's a huge gamble. You sit around, you wait for this dude to mature, and then when he get on, you leave your ass for a white girl. And now they're like, I just invested in this dude. He matured, and then he left me, right? That's what women are afraid of, and that's what happens all the time, right? Because you only date what you can get, right? So once you can go from, I'm dating 6s and 7s to now I'm dating 9s and 10s, why would you go back to that 6 or 7? Right? Like you just wouldn't. You'd go for the 9s and 10s because you can get that now. You worked hard to get you some 9 and 10 ass. Kevin Samuels worked hard to get that fine Asian girl.
Yeah. But he definitely had the platform. So my thing is, at the end of the day, there's definitely a lot of
a chick who won't invest in you, and that's, I'm saying investor, or take a gamble or a chance in you when you're making 40K, just gonna have to miss out. You know, once you get big, you know, and you've made it, she's gonna look and be like, damn, I missed out on that. That's her loss. I wouldn't be too concerned with that. You know, as a young man, I'd be concerned about you, because once you make it, the pudenda comes, it rains. It rains.
For sure. Sure.
And at that point, you won't even want it. I gotta be honest with you, and you're not even gonna want it. When I was working for 50 Cent, I had so much pudenda thrown at me, I was disgusted to a point. I was just like, oh, I'm repulsed by the fact that you only want to date me because I work for 50 Cent. Yeah, you bad and all that, but I'm disgusted. Like, I want to vomit because you're such a groupie, and I can see it all in your face, and it's just like, oh, I don't know. That's just me. But you know, when you reach success, you will have pudenda raining down on you.
Hear me out though.
Okay.
If a man is, if typically a man starts to make most of his money, if he's career oriented or he's an entrepreneur and he's put in the work for the better part of 10 years, right? And let's say he's in his later 30s. Yeah. Okay. This is around the time where we start peaking with our bread. Right. We have a different set of options than women.
Women.
So it's like,
okay. Yes. Okay. Then. Yeah. All right. Continue. I know where you're going. Yep.
All right. So it's like, is there something different that we need to look into each other in terms of, if we're not there yet, you know what I mean? Because we're both function as men and women. We're functioning on different timelines, and and it's okay to look for a finished product. But what if the finished product isn't there yet? You understand what I'm saying? And maybe we don't have that understanding on both ends. And that may require. So if we get into a relationship early on and we're not there yet, you know what I'm saying? We have to have the understanding that we in it together, and we can achieve happiness, and we will get there. But I feel like it just got to be an understanding. Like, it has to be. I don't know. I'm saying this all to get to.
Let me help you out.
Can we achieve this this teamwork again, right? In a society that's clearly that's separated men and women. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have you. I'm gonna help you out. It don't matter how much money you make. All you gotta do is have big dick energy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what it's like to have big dick energy and not have a big dick, but I got big dick energy, okay? And I think if a man has big dick energy, he has no problems in the world, right? Just he doesn't have money problems. He doesn't have relationship problems. He doesn't have family problems.
Just handles your shit.
You just handle your shit. You just know you're the fucking man, right? And nothing anybody can do out here can knock you off your horse. No matter if you make 20,000 or 40,000 or 100,000, you just believe in yourself, right? When you believe in yourself wholeheartedly and you are sold on the dream that you've created in your mind, women are going to sign up for that dream because they see the destiny in your eyes. They see that as destiny. They see, like you're talking about, like investing and you're at 40. If you are convinced, she's going to see it in you that you're convinced. The problem is sometimes she's dating a $40,000 dude and he not convinced of his own success or potential for success. So she like, I don't know if I can mess with him. The money was cool, but he seemed a little unsure of himself. And that's usually what turns women off, when you're unsure of yourself. You know, here's one of the telltale signs that you're unsure of yourself. Jealous behavior. Worrying about where she going, who she talking to, let me see your phone. All that shit right there is little dick energy. She's going to probably cheat on you after all of that. But yeah, she's going to be turned off ultimately. But usually when you have BDE, women will submit. And again, they're not submitting to you. They're submitting to your conviction.
Aura.
It's not really the aura. It's the conviction. It's the fact that you're sold, right? And if you're not convinced, how can she be convinced that you're going to make it if you're not convinced? Because when I was dating women and I told them like, yo, I'm gonna be a multi-billionaire one day, they believed me because the way I said it, and I was sold on it, right? So there, a lot of times it's got to be like, are you sold on your own dream? And usually things work themselves out from there. You won't have to do a whole lot of talk with your lady. She gonna see you working towards a particular plan, and she gonna ride it out.
For sure.
How old are you?
Just when everything's based around. Oh, I'm 33. I'm good. I say this because based off of the conversations that was usually had on that show, everything was based around the dollar. And when you base everything around the dollar, you won't look at the person for who they are. You only look at for what they can bring to the table, in a dollar sense. And so it's just like, for me,
that's very important though. That's
right.
very
No,
important.
It's not. I mean, it is important.
Here, I'm gonna tell you why it's very important for a man to out earn his woman 3x minimum. Okay. And it comes down to the children. Bottom line, it comes down to the children. It comes down to the future of those people. If you are not earning 3x whatever your woman is, and you can't retire her, who's going to raise your children? Joe Biden and them? The public school system? Who's at daycare? Like, these outside influences are going to shape your children, and one day you're going to grow up, you're going to have children and be like, why do you even act like this? You got to know why your children act like this. It's because you weren't there instilling your way of life on them. You look at a lot of the cultures, they got women at home, and the man goes out and he makes the money whether he struggles or not, but she stays home, she takes care of the kids, because they know how important it is to protect that child's mind and protect that child's body and safety. That's why you have to out earn the woman, because she needs to be home taking care of the children and instilling those values, because women make the future.
Sure. I think at the end of the day, if men have gotten caught up and lost themselves in this shift in energy, if you will, especially when you're not making much. If you're not making much, you won't. It's hard to find that confidence in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because everything's equated to the money. But at the same time, again, like, it's like, hey, bro, like, tighten up. Hey, you gotta want more for yourself. And once you learn to focus on yourself, things like, again, they just take care of themselves.
Yeah. So look just, at. I'm about to show you. Yeah. I'm about to show you something. Somebody just dropped this in the chat, and this is a very interesting point. Says a fine woman can get on OnlyFans, pull out her breast, and make more money than you ever can. Now, I don't agree with that. There's a lot of women out here making $10 an hour pulling their titty out. Not all titties are created equal, okay? Are there some women that are going to make an extreme amount of money on OnlyFans? Yes. But there's a whole lot of women on here that are struggling to make money on OnlyFans. There's a lot of competition on OnlyFans. So not all of them will make. Trust me, some of these women is out here struggling. Okay, so don't say, you know, a woman. Yes, a woman can pull her titty out and start making money. However, you're a man. Men are the richest people on the planet. The billionaires are all men. They're all men. So how can you say she'll make more money than you ever can? No, you've literally made more money than they've ever can as a man. So we got to be more mindful. And that type of rhetoric will dry a woman's vajayjay up. When a man says something like that, it just dries all up. She's not even turned on by you anymore, because you got a defeatist mentality, right? You got a mentality of scarcity. You got a mentality of fear. A real man will say, yeah, OnlyFans shit can't out earn me. It's just not. I'm just not going to allow it. Whether it's the truth now, it's not going to be the truth in the future. There's women on OnlyFans that make more money than me, but she's not always going to out earn me. At some point, her body is going to give out. She's going to look bad, and I'm going to be earning way more than her because I developed real skills. Right? Your body is going to fall apart at some point, and you're not. So what are you going to do then? You look at all the ex-porn stars and people, sex workers who are too old to do that now, and they're struggling right now. They're running to create podcasts or do something else to make a living, right? So that stuff is cool in the beginning, but if you don't manage your money right, you come straight down like one of these basketball players, one of these football players, one of these star athletes who never manage their money properly. So be easy with that type of rhetoric. I'm gonna talk to Steph Colonel. Steph Colonel, what's up, bro? Man, talk to me, man. I'm gonna stay on for like another 10 minutes.
What up?
What up?
How you doing, man?
Hotep and Bill, what's good, bro?
Hey. Hotep and Bill, bro. Hey, listen, just to kind of add on to that conversation right there. Like, men have to recognize that, you're your own brand, and the way you structure your brand or the way you build it up, I apologize, but the way you build it up is going to determine whether you're going to be successful in multiple departments, whether it be financial, dating, negotiation, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta build up your brand in a positive manner, and then everything else just kind of falls into place. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So that's what a lot of men need to realize. Also, as far as Kevin Samuels, I never really listened to him like that. I only know from him, from seeing the detractors and whatnot, seeing all the videos they put out. Not that I really even pay attention to the detractors, because I'm just more so thinking the same thing. Like, why are you guys even paying attention to this shit? You know what I'm saying? If you could pay attention to literally anything else, but you want to give this man energy that you claim you don't like, and then you're going to prop him up, and then you're going to create a boogeyman, and then just riff off the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great observation.
That's what a lot of them do. It's just like one time I was critiquing one of my female friends that had posted a video of a man, kind of admitting that, he went wrong with dating back in the day and whatnot. But then in the same instance, he starts, attacking men or bashing men and, kind of referring to, I guess, people who subscribe to Kevin Samuels and whatnot. So I go and I post under it. I said, well, you know what? This dude is honestly really just saying what he's saying to gain curry favor with women, just to try to get some pussy.
Yeah.
That he's trying to manipulate women, essentially. You know what I'm saying? That she's going to tell me that, oh, all you do is say that. You all say that you should say is try to get pussy when they're trying to admit accountability for themselves. And I said, well, you can't admit accountability and then go bash other men. You know what I'm saying? Because once you do that, now you went from owning up to what you were doing to putting the target on somebody else.
Deferring, yeah.
So then she goes and shows me some stuff, a video from Kevin Samuels and a screenshot from Kevin Samuels, and I'm like, yo, I don't even listen to this dude. So, like, why are you even showing me this shit? I feel like, so I ended the conversation right there, because now I feel like you're insulting my intelligence. I don't even listen to this dude. That's showing your bias more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, the gem that you brought up was the fact that they created a villain just to grift off of him. Oh, that's a gem, Steph. That's a tinfoil tight Kofi gem right there, man. Oh my God.
Bro, hold on. I got another tinfoil. I got another tinfoil for you.
Okay.
Yo, so The Root put out an article 4 days ago. They said, well, hold on, let me see here. Let me go back. It says, hold up. When will Kevin Samuels finally be canceled, right?
4 days ago?
The title of the article says, when will Kevin Samuels finally be canceled? If you Google Kevin Samuels, The Root, you will find this headline, right? Now, if you click on the article, they've clearly changed it because now it says controversy followed Kevin Samuels. So remember, followed is past tense, right? So they've changed the entire premise of the article because of his passing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's a little
oh,
little
that's a little sus. That's a little sus.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So and just like we said earlier, I forgot who was saying that they were trying to, or quote, they were going to come from the manosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Mo facts. There you go. Mo facts. That's right. You know, and now you took down, or not took down, but one of the biggest figures of that quote manosphere was taken down, or is gone. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's a bomb right there. I'm gonna go to Bitcoin Hotep, see what she got to say. That's one of my peoples right there. Bitcoin Hotep, talk to us. What's going on? What's going on, man? Hero or villain? Kevin Samuels. Daphne. Lord have mercy. All these boomers in technology. We got to help them out. Who else is down here?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. I'm going to say hero because and I am not a boomer. I'm Gen X. He's a hero because he started conversations with the segment of the population that needed to start having those conversations. Because I've actually been a watcher of Kevin Samuels for several years when he was talking men's fashion, so I could help out some of the fashion challenge brothers in my life. So and when he started on that self-improvement, he started with men first. And he was ruthless. Y'all think he got into women. If you think he got into women, he was much harder on bros about stepping up and being the best man you could be. So, but to get back to it, he started conversations that needed to be said. There were certain things that needed to be talked about. And sisters had to ask themselves about their management of their body and their money, and guys did too. It just asked people to look at themselves. Come on, be the best person you can be.
Right. Nah, you right. He was definitely hard on the brothers. Make sure y'all follow Bitcoin Hotep. I got Steph up on the stage. Steph, what's up, man? Talk to me, man.
Yo, my brother, what's good, man? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Kevin Samuels, hero or villain?
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels, hero or villain?
Before you even get into that, hey, they clipped my last profile. This is a yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? All right, but so first thing, they clipped my last profile. This is a brand new profile, so holla back at me when you can and all that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who followed me before. But honestly, I'm gonna say that Kevin Samuels is a hero, and I'm gonna say I might get a little bit deep, but look, man, the first thing people need to understand is that beyond his message for men and women and everything else like that, he's an entertainer, and he's an entertainer and a marketer. And Brian, I think you can relate to the fact that, look, like what he said might have been inflammatory or egregious or whatever, but that to me was part of his entertainment aspect. I mean, like, if you're trying to build a YouTube channel, build a movement, build a brand, you kind of gotta spark something up. It's damn near 48 laws of power. Stand out. Whatever you gotta do to stand out and build your brand, that's what you're gonna do. But it's like marketing. You get folks into your funnel, and once they're in your funnel, they actually get the real shit. And for me, I believe that his intention, and he said it, like he made it explicit, like, to me, I believe that his intention was to actually bring black men and women back together, to bring back black nuclear families, take it back to how we were 40, 50 years ago, and get black men and women on the same page. But in order for us to get back on the same page, black women need to understand what black men are attracted to, what they want, what magnetizes them. And black men want healthy, fit women who are nice, have nice personalities, and who can be cooperative and work with the black man. Do I agree with every single thing he said? No, but I don't agree with everything anybody says, right? But like Bitcoin Hotep said, like, yo, he literally was talking big shit to men, telling niggas, yo, get your money up, get your fashion up, nigga. If you ain't got a big dick, fuck is you doing? Like, nigga, you might as well be doing something. Like the nigga said he was going at men hard. But the thing about men is that, like, yo, as men, we can receive constructive criticism in a harsh way, in whatever way, because it's like, yo, like, whatever it is, fuck it, nigga. Iron sharpens iron. Tell me what I gotta do, and I'm gonna tighten up. And when it comes to women aren't used to hearing. First of all, women are used to being critiqued. When it comes to women, it's like, yo, you perfect, you this and you that, black girl magic. You can't do nothing wrong. If that nigga don't like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, if you don't like you, fuck him. It's him. It's not you. Da 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 da. So women are used to hearing, hey, you know, hey, maybe I do gotta tighten up. Maybe I do gotta go to therapy. Maybe I do gotta, you know what I'm saying, go to the gym a little bit. Maybe I should be a little nicer. Like women are used to hearing that type of shit. So I get why they might be mad, but the fact of the matter is that beyond whatever entertainment shit, his intentions were actually pure. And he was trying to tell women, like, yo, listen, don't just be a better you for a man. Be a better you, and you'll attract a higher quality man. And I think that's what it's about, man. So I don't want to take too long, but that's my piece.
No, that's a bar right there. I think, you know, just period, right? Being a better person attracts better circumstances and better people and better relationships and better money and better opportunities. Everything's better if you're just a better person. I think that's a bar right there. I think it's a good place to begin to end this thing. Hold on, let me put this user in timeout. Anytime I see them in here acting stupid, I just got to put them in timeout. So here's who is Kevin Samuel's successor. That's how I'm gonna end this. I'm going to tell you guys. Oh, Sadie, I got you. We gonna get you. And gotta see it. We're gonna get you right after I make this statement, and we're gonna close out with y'all. Minister Jap. I need you guys to go over to his YouTube channel, subscribe. You want to know somebody that cuts into women, especially black women, harshly? Oh my God, Minister Jap goes in. Make sure y'all subscribe to Minister Jap. I'm gonna save the best for last. We're gonna go. Gotta see it. Talk to me. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Real quick, I'm gonna make this quick. I just wanted to bounce off what Steph said. And being a good person. I remember, and also because Bitcoin Hotep is here, there was a podcast I had listened to where it had featured Jordan Peterson and Robert Breedlove. They were talking about value and where the best places to store value is for long-term success, and that one of them was your reputation, right? And because who you end up being, and if you're a person that people come to, or people that a person that people can trust, you are essentially valuable, and hence opportunities come to you in the long term. Just like Bitcoin, the same thing, is probably the best asset to retain the value of the energy you put out to earn money in the first place. And that's what they did, was marry the two, and essentially, like, you know, just being a good person in general, to the best of your abilities, is the best way to retain that value in general. And that's how I really wanted to end it.
No, that's wise words. That's wise words. Sadie, what's up? Talk to me. What's on your mind?
Okay, I won't be long at all, but what I can say from this whole conversation, it's a lot of basically men and women continuing to keep a learning mentality, because we're not all of us are all perfect, you know. And I believe it was another previous girl, I forgot her name on here. She was on here, and she talked about the failed relationships. Like, even me, I've gotten, you know, and I was attractive a lot of my life, and I never really had to worry about
denial, but I did have to deal with that. And when I dealt with that, it was surreal for me, and it was an eye opener for me, and it didn't make me feel bad about myself. It just made me realize about myself. And I had one guy, he, and you know, generally a lot of people in our in the Black community, sometimes we're prejudiced against each other when it comes to skin color and stuff like that. And I had one guy tell me, he said, you know, a dark skinned guy, he said, normally I don't date light skinned girls. I had never heard that before. He said, I don't really like light skin, but I understand why. I understood why they were attracted, because I feel like every woman and every man, no matter how you look, you should feel beautiful. If your penis doesn't hit the ground and if it's little, you should still feel powerful. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a button nose, nice lips, you got thin lips, or whatever, however the hell nobody should be walking around feeling like a 1 or a 2. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody should embrace that beauty, no matter how, you know, when they're all human. It's okay to be like, oh, that person's not that attractive. That's your opinion. You're entitled to that. But we should not make others feel bad. We should be able to be encouraging. And I mean, people should be open to criticism. I love it. If a person tells me, it's plenty of dudes I'm not that attracted to, and that's okay. As long as I'm attracted to myself and the people in my life that really love me, then, you know, that's pretty much all that. So I guess that's all I had to say there.
Sadie, you are wise. You are wise woman. I love when you speak. I look forward to having you back up here in the future. I'm going to let my man Don Escalon speak, and then he's going to be the last one. That's the homie right there. Don, talk to me, man. What's up, bro? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Hotep? I just had to give my little anecdotal, little story about, and I'm going to be real brief. But my wife, who I married about 6 months ago, man.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Be married. I would not be married to her right now if it wasn't for Kevin, man. I discovered Kevin during the pandemic, man. I think I told you the story, but I would not be married to her right now had I not listened to what he was saying. I wouldn't have stepped up my game the way I did. I probably was a little bit too confident, and now I actually got to back up what I said. So, you know.
So Kevin Samuels is a catalyst in the reason why you are a married man and not a black statistic.
That's right.
Did you marry one of those fine Asian women from the Philippines?
You know what? I got me a spicy white woman from Ethiopia, man. they don't think they black, so you know I call her a spicy white woman.
Ethiopian, them Eastern African girls, man. They something else, man. Hey, congratulations, man, on the marriage and all that. That's beautiful that you got that love. And shout out to Kevin Samuels for making that happen. I think he's done some good in this world, and people should recognize that. Absolutely, I appreciate that story, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he was somewhat prophetic to me in my life, so I gotta give love.
Oh yeah, that's a great way to end it, man. On a high note. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Hotep Jesus. This has been another wonderful stream. I'm in beast mode right now, so there's gonna be a lot of streams hitting. I'm gonna need y'all to catch up, keep up. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, hit the subscribe button. I am Hotep Jesus. I'm out of here. Hotep and Bill, love y'all. Be safe.